Hello, hello, hello. We are live. We are ready. It is Thursday, the 21st. It is 12:17. It is 2 minutes late. Apologize for that. Just trying to mix it up a little bit with the background. We will eventually. But for now, you get the zoomed in cam, of course, with the two banners, the two World Series trophies in the background, with the one banner in the background, I should say. Um, I was trying to make something in the last little 5 minutes there, but an idea comes to mind. You go and you try to do it. Sometimes it doesn't work, and then you move on, and then you keep going. Idea didn't work, but that will not stop me. No, it will not. As we have a good, fun day today, a lot of stuff to go over. Of course, AEW in Scotland delivers on a great show. The Blue Jays do not. And the Panthers play football tonight at 7 p.m. against the Steelers, all while training camp continues to have tempers flare. Talking about all that and more here today on Curtis Collings Presents the Sports Hour. So I guess we'll jump right into the Blue Jays. I mean, we're already on them. I was on them for the intro. And we'll give them our attention because, wow, am I disappointed. If you didn't join the stream yesterday, you would have missed out on me doing a little live commentary. We all watched the game together and suffered together because that's was not a fun 3 innings that we all got to take in. Um, in those 3 innings, I watched the score go from 1-0 Blue Jays on a Springer dinger, shout out George Springer. Then to 2-1 Pirates on a Tommy Pham double that scored a runner that was on first. Thank you, Schneider, for being in left field for that one and absolutely lollygagging to the ball. And then after that, nothing. Even after the stream, we stopped the stream and I went home. The game just kept going and nothing happened. Nothing, 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 nothing. The whole game, and then it would end 2-1 and we would lose. And when I say nothing, I mean like nothing. We left we left 4 runners on base. And you might be thinking, oh, a low amount of runners on base, that's usually good. But we only scored the 1 run. So if we only scored 1 run and we left 4 runners on base, how many base runners did we have all game? The Pirates had left 9 on base for reference. So we weren't even getting opportunities to score. Every player on the Blue Jays, other than Springer and Springer and Bo went over. Whether it be 0 for 2, 0 for 3, or 0 for 4, they went over. I mean, Bo and Springer, the only guys that at least showed up. I mean, Vladdy being in the lineup couldn't have saved us from this game. Maybe he could have solo produced a run with a home run, but nothing was saving us. Nothing. Horrible. Pitching wasn't the problem, legitimately. Bassett did give up those 2 runs, which sucked. That was unfortunate. And they were right in the first inning. But, I mean, he did serve up the pitch that did get hit by Tommy Pham. That became a 2-run double. But that second run, 1 run absolutely should have scored on that pitch. Sure, the guy from second will score. It's scoring position for a reason. But the runner on first should have no reason to score there. Absolutely zero reason. That is ridiculous fielding by the Blue Jays. Frustrates me today, and the Blue Jays don't even play today, and it still frustrates me because Bassett did not deserve having 2 earned runs against. And that's been the issue with the Jays lately. I've been talking about before, but patterns, I'm noticing them, and quite a lot of them. It's the Blue Jays' constant problem they give up early runs and then they settle down. It's usually 2 runs, 1 run, sometimes three, but usually it's a couple. And then they settle down and they pitch great for the middle innings. And then the relievers come in and it's scary. And I gotta give the relievers their respect today, as they were quite good. They didn't allow any runs. And I'm gonna name drop them because they deserve it because they didn't allow any runs. We do have to celebrate that when we get it because it's rare. That of course is Sir Anthony Dominguez, of course Brennan Little, and then Fisher. Sorry, don't have your first name, Braden Fisher. So those guys, good for them. Not giving up any runs. Good for them. If only we had offense. Oh my gosh, I'm not going through the team. It's not worth it to do that because it's simply easier to say over whatever. Over horrible. Bassett's full stat line for the game was 5 2/3 innings pitched, with 6 hits allowed, 2 runs, both earned, as we know, and 10 strikeouts to go with 2 walks. This guy was fantastic. He only allowed 6 base runners, and we give him this performance. That's a mighty fine outing. Mighty fine outing if our offense shows up. If we win 4-2, no one questions it. No, not a soul questions it if our offense shows up. I'm sorry, but I can't put it on him. Jays fans, we cannot lose faith in him. He has been so steady for us all season. We cannot let this be what makes us lose faith. Can't have this be what makes us lose faith. It can't be. But again, for the playoffs, who knows? Right now, honestly, in my eyes, I would be fine with Bassett, Scherzer, Gosman. Maybe we go up Barrios too. Hopefully. But if, we can't trust him because, lately he's not been, that great. Maybe we're on the 3-man. We also have Scherzer's age, which, does worry me. Maybe we do need to run 4 starting pitchers in the playoffs. But regardless, no, actually, because tomorrow there's a curveball thrown in there. Shane Bieber makes his first start of the season for the Blue Jays. And I'm really excited for what he's going to bring. And he's a guy. Potentially, he's a guy that could be a playoff starter if he's good and if he has his stuff. We'll wait and see, We'll keep our eye on the game Friday. And, if we're going to be looking forward to Friday, that's going to be a game against the Marlins. We're going to be in Miami for that one. It's going to be a road series. I want to say test, but not really. The Marlins aren't great. If you want their record, currently, as of today, the Marlins also get an off day, it looks like. So both teams are going to be well rested for Friday, the Marlins being at 60 and 67. So not quite so great. They had a little stretch there where people thought they were going to be competitive. I remember early in the season, it was Bo Bichette trade talks back when the Blue Jays were not so hot. And Marlins were one of the teams that people rumored maybe get Bo Bichette. That never happened. I'm glad. At this point, I'm glad because we're a good team. Regardless of the results of yesterday. But yeah, so the thing that doesn't worry me is we don't have to face Paul Skeens. That sucked the life out of us, it seemed like, for Game 1. And then Game 3, we just couldn't bring it. And, I will actually respect the pitcher that dominated us. Oviedo pitched 5 innings, 2 hits, one earned run on the home run from the first batter in the game. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. And then Santana came in for 1 inning, 1K. He got the save. And then Madsen and Nicholas were the relievers for them. So, good for them. Anchoring stuff there. Again, I cannot believe how sorry the Blue Jays were in that game. So, looking forward to Vladdy being back in the lineup because we sorely missed him in that 2-1 loss. I mean, that's, again, offense from one guy can really be a difference maker at the end of the day. And really, I have no ceiling for my expectations. I know we just lost the series against the Pirates. We dropped 2 games, which is not good. But I still think we could go into Miami and take all 3 games. We're not really that type of team on the road to do so. Always been a 500 team on the road. But the Marlins are a sorry team, and we need a little bounce back. And I think a day off is exactly what this team needs. If you ask the everyday Blue Jay fan, people like my dad, people like me, people like my grandparents, they say this Blue Jay team, it looks like it needs a rest. They look like they're not all in, committed to every game they're playing, which, again, we're outsiders. We're all outsiders here. But it seems true to me. So, a little off day, a little travel day tomorrow, get to Florida, and Florida will be nice. It's not like it's not hot here in Toronto and in the GTA, but it's Miami, so the players will like that. We're still going to be waiting for the lineup to get fully healthy. Of course, Santander, we're keeping our eyes on, but nothing yet. And then, of course, Shane Bieber, he's healthy now. The pitching staff is looking like it's going to be, where we want it to be. And then Barrios, I touched on him earlier, why I don't trust him so much for the playoffs. And that is because the runs he's been giving up lately. He's just not really a guy that, weirdly enough, he's not reliable. And he's one of those guys that was reliable for a very long time. And we gave him a contract to be reliable and whatnot. And it's just not happening how we want it to be. I will pull up his stats so you guys, know what I'm talking about here. So I'm not just, talking out of nowhere about, this Barrios, trash talk. This is stuff that I've been noticing, especially looking through his recent games. I'm definitely a what have you done for me lately type of person. I will look at recent sample size a lot, but not small sample size. Like the Blue Jays, they had to DFA Luperfido for bringing Springer back. Why Luperfido? And why not Schneider? Well, Schneider gets a big hit every now and again. But other than a big hit, he goes 0 for 2, 0 for 3, 0 for 1, 0 for 2. He's trash, and he can't field. He's only good at second base. But we have Ernie Clement and Jimenez, so he doesn't need to play second base. Why was he not DFA'd for a guy like Luperfido, who I trust in the field and I like his bat? You know why? It's because he had 3 or 4 games that were cold. For a bench guy that's not getting everyday reps, it kills me that that's the guy they sent down, the more reliable player. Anyways, that's why we don't take super short sample sizes for why we judge players, but we will take a long, a good sample size. The most recent outing for Barrios was 4 1/3 innings pitched, and he allowed 6 earned runs. Only got 2 strikeouts. Before that, a 9-4 win over the Cubs, where he pitched 5 1/3 innings, no earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. That was his last, truly, great game to me, since July, and we're in August 21st now. Before that, it was 4 1/3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, in a win. but it's against Baltimore. You expect, Baltimore to get more, or you expect better teams to get more offense than that. Especially against Breos, who's a pitcher that induces ground balls very often. That's why his Ks won't be crazy. This was a good game, July 25th against Detroit. 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks. The game before that, 5 and 2/3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 5 Ks. Before that, 3 innings, 4 earned runs. Um, it's that sample size going all the way back to July 13th. If we want to go all the way back to his first start in July, we have to include a 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run game, which was quite good against the Chicago White Sox. And then before that was July 2nd versus the Yankees, 4 and 1/3 innings, 6 earned runs. So against good teams, the Yankees, 6 earned runs. Against Oakland, 4 earned runs. And I don't know how good I classify them. Against the Giants, 4 earned runs. Against Detroit, 2 earned runs. Good game. Colorado put up 3 against him. Texas put up 6 against him. And Chicago's a good team. They put up 0. But more often than not, against good teams, this is a guy that is putting up 2+, 3+ runs. And in the playoffs, when we're facing the cream of the crop and maybe our bats are getting challenged more than they ever have been and not scoring 5, 6 runs to bail you out, you're going to look a lot worse. And that's why I like a guy like Scherzer, who has 2-run, 3-run, 2-run, 2-run, 1-run, 1-run games. And Gosman, who is the ace, really, and still is, although he's not as dominant as he previously has been. So I'll wrap up my Blue Jay talk, of course, getting a little bit into the playoffs, because that's really what this is all about at this point. We will get into some AEW Dynamite before we preview the Panther game and get into why I'm wearing a Leaf jersey today. So, on to AEW as I get a drink of water. There's 20 minutes of Blue Jays for you. So, AEW Scotland. This was everything I hoped it would be. I was really excited for it yesterday, and it delivered. AEW always delivers, but, I expect a lot. I really do. I expect so much, and yet, like a rich kid on Christmas, I get spoiled. And I'm trying not to take it for granted because this is amazing. And every single week, me and my dad get together and watch AEW. And it's like, I know for a fact in like a year or two, I'm going to look back and be like, yeah, I'm going to cherish these memories because it's pretty special what's going on right now. And it's pretty special what I get. Like every week, I'm entertained. I'm laughing. I'm smiling. I'm trying to make little predictions on what's happening. I'm fully invested in it. And I've never had a TV show that I've gotten to watch live every single week that I've been fully invested in other than season 6 of Better Call Saul because I got to enjoy that live. Thank goodness I caught up while it was still on air because that weekly feels like how this feels. And a lot of people say Better Call Saul is the greatest show ever made. Me included. But maybe AEW Dynamite is the best show ever created. Oh, I'm such a mark. I can't help it. But again, everything I hoped it would be. It was an amazing card, and we got amazing matches. It was fun promos and an even better, one of the best crowds I've ever heard for a wrestling show. Just the European crowds get it. They do. They get sports in general. Just Europeans in general. They get how to have fun, they get how to be passionate and enjoy themselves. Sometimes they get carried away. We all see clips of that online. But that's okay because the passion an average European has for wrestling and other sports that they are very connected to is like a diehard fan. The average fan is like a diehard fan here in North America. But regardless, let's get into the show. We start exactly, almost exactly how I predicted it would start, as it was the Mox and Will Ospreay face to face. But Dynamite started with Bryan Danielson's music to kick off the show, and he'd be on commentary the whole time. Yes, yes, yes. It was really cool. It was an awesome pop, completely unexpected too. I mean, you can ask a lot of wrestling fans. I'm sure none of them expected BD to come back. Bryan Danielson. I mean, super cool. And the fans loved it. They were all over it. And then Ospreay makes his appearance too. And something I always do for Ospreay's entrance is his song. It goes and I always like yelling "Oi" when the song does. And I find American crowds and Canadian crowds don't do it. The Scotland crowd, oh, they're the crowd after my heart because they did it full volume. I was like, yes, they're catching on. Oh my god, finally. Oh, I was born. I was born to go to shows over there and give myself a headache from cheering too loud. Um, Either way, we got Osprey's music to hit. We got a great promo from a fearful Osprey saying he feels human for the first time in a while because he's just this wrestling alien. And he talked about doctors not wanting to clear him, but he's like, I'm going to wrestle anyways, bruv. And he's going to find clearance somehow, which is very funny with Bryan Danielson being on commentary. Um, and he kept talking. Great promo. He brought up Greg's, which got a huge pop, which is a supermarket there. Um, the promo then has Jon Moxley start outside the building and walk in, which has become his signature now, which I think is really cool. Um, and then all the Death Rider friends come and circle the ring. Mox and Ospreay have a couple words. Ospreay says, if you're going to do something, I want you to do it, Moxley, not your Death Rider buddy old pals. And that leads to like this big cluster of men, and I think a beat down. I don't know if anyone got really hurt, but it was a big beat down. Don't get me wrong. The War Dogs came out from New Japan. I know the Ops came out. I know Jet Speed came out. Ospreay was already out there. No Darby, but we'll get into that. As of course Jet Speed comes down, and I'm like, oh, yep, I'm right. We're getting our Jet Speed and Tanahashi match facing off against the Death Riders. Of course, Mox, Yuta, Claudio. That was a really fun promo segment, and it ended with this big cluster. That was a lot of fun. But now to get on to the match. As shout out to Moxley for dropping the title, doing his rematch, losing, and moving on. He's been doing this feud with Jet Speed, high paced, really fun matches, and legitimately their matches every week where it's like it's not the type of thing where I will ask you guys always to seek out a match, at least one match per Dynamite. It's never been his matches, but they're definitely worth watching, and especially this mini story that they've been going on right now with Jet Speed. It's been a 3-week story. We'll see how long it lasts with Jet Speed in particular, but it's been a really fun little feud, and I've been really enjoying it. It's making for really good TV. And shout out Mox, really. Fun match, won by Tanahashi. And whenever he does moves off the top rope nowadays, he absolutely splats whoever he's giving it to. And this time it was Yuta most of the time, for good reason. The whipping boy Yuta, because he was killing him. And again, respect to Tanahashi, but his knees are held together by glue and his hips scotch tape. So we're really rooting for him, but he's gonna die. Legitimately, he's gonna die at Forbidden Door. I'm worried. Back to the match. During the match, Marina Shafir got involved, got the "you're out of here," which was awesome. My dad and I both did it in unison. And as she was leaving, Will Ospreay came out to greet her and exchange pleasantries. No, he picked her up and brought her backstage, and then Lord knows what happened. But at the end of the match, he, by the end of the match, not after the match, but during the match, he comes out holding a body bag with a body in it. And some Mox comes up and is like, oh, what are you doing? But then goes back to the match, loses, and then Will Ospreay teases that he's gonna kill whoever's in the body bag by throwing them off the stage. Crazy. And then they stop him and open the body bag, and it's Darby. It is Darby Allin, that one right there, in the body bag. And I predicted it. You can ask my dad, but I was like, it's gotta be Darby. It's gotta be Darby. And then it was, and I was like, I was cheesing. I was like, oh, yes, I love it. I love this. I love this storyline so much. I'm really in on this. They have been killing it since All in Texas. They have found a direction in a moment where I legitimately was worried that they could have become directionless, and that's the furthest thing from the case. Ton of fun, awesome stuff. I mean, tonight was no exception. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention it in there. But the War Dogs, I think. Oh no, I did mention it. But the War Dogs came out. It's Clark Connor. I think it might be David Finlay. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, no, it's not Finlay. He went to the Fed. He went to WWE. War Dogs came out. I did mention them. That's most likely setting up. What I did forget to mention was it was most likely setting up Ops versus War Dogs. Most likely pre-show match for Forbidden Door. It's going to be a ton of fun. After this, we got our Cope and Christian promo, which we've been waiting for. The Scottish sing-along for Metalingus at Copeland's theme song was pretty cool, pretty special. They killed it. And they did it from the first words. While the song was playing, they sang. They didn't care, and they sung over it. And then we get into our promo. And excuse my French, but Christian is still an asshole. Doing all of his old ways, still holding on to everything. He says that he found himself, and himself, he's perfect the way he is. Cope is ready to accept this, though. And because it's more of a transactional friendship, but, he's accepted that Christian is who he is. And he says that Christian is his asshole, which is a phrasing that I'm not even going to get into. It's like, it's okay. It's not this touching reunion that we kind of wanted to see, but it's more of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, which I think also works quite well, personally. I think we will get that touching reunion. Maybe in Toronto is when they finally realize it's like, yeah, it's better to be brothers. Even though they're not actual, fake brothers. They do handshake. Pretty sure they handshake, and when that happens, we got a little video come up on the board, and it's a doctor, or at least an operating room, and it's a body, and he's getting syringes and whatnot, and the hands, to me, looked a little bit like Jack Perry's hands. And before we saw the face, I'm like, oh my god, it's Luchasaurus. Oh my god. And it was Luchasaurus! He's back! Austin from Big Brother Season 17. Shout out Nolan for that. He's back. I'm so happy. So happy. I'm so happy he's healthy. I'm so happy he's okay. I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he had the same lung thing that unfortunately took out Brody Lee. Rest in peace. Horrible. Horrible. But Luchasaurus is back. Maybe he's kill switch still. We'll see. But I'm so happy he's back. I'm just so thankful that he's actually able to wrestle again. And wrestle he does. He comes out and he chokeslams both Christian and Cope, beats them down. I wish that commentary sold this as special as I think it is, and a lot of fans online, just because this is such a special moment. When it's as serious as life and death, again, that's really what sells it for me. And again, it could be Jack Perry in the video. I don't know. He's been going for a long time. Fans want him back. I don't really care that much, but I think if Jurassic Express comes back, that could be really cool. Or I'm pretty sure that was their name. Jurassic Party. I don't think that was not their name. Yeah, I want them back. That would be really cool. And a cool way to turn Luchasaurus face because the fans loved him. They were so happy to see him back. After this, we go sharply backstage to a lightning fast Mark Briscoe promo where he says he's gonna kill MJF. And then we cut to promo. Or cut to commercial. Sorry. Just randomly. Which I found kind of funny. We cut back from the commercial to see MJF talking with Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, conspiring to take out Mark Briscoe, which no surprises there. After that promo, we head into our finals for the Tag Team Eliminator Tournament. Keep in mind it's a tournament. That'll matter later. As Brodito, that's Brody King and Bandito, taking on FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler in what was a fantastic match. This is my match of the week. This is my match where I say, go seek it out wherever you can. TSN, it'll be there. I'm sure it'll be on Daily Motion. Go seek this match out. It was phenomenal. It was so good. And legitimately, Brody King might be in my top 3 favorite wrestlers with MJF and Hangman. I love watching him. He's the best big man in all of wrestling right now. And he had the blood gushing. He was flowing in this one. It was ridiculous how much there was. And it was on the apron for the rest of the show. Which, yeah, he was caked in it. I love Brody King. I love Brody King. I love Brody Lee too. Rest in peace. But I love Brody King as well. I love most wrestlers named Brody. I'm finding out. And Bandito. Bandito is making a legit case for Wrestler of the Year. He is also making a legit case for just best wrestler on the planet right now. That's just how good he's been in ring. How good, like, every single match he's done, everything you put him in works. That's the cool thing about Bandito and why we love him. This match was no exception. Beginning of the match, Dax somehow got a microphone and demanded the crowd called Stokely Big Stoke. And FTR in general is just too funny. Too funny to ever be considered a face ever again. They have to be heels till the end of time just because it is so amazing. Forever heels, please. I won't talk about the match too much. Just go watch it. That's my review of the match. Please watch this match. It was amazing. But the ending. We got to talk about it. It's serious that we do talk about it because part of it annoyed me. I won't lie to you. It finished in a draw. Now, the fact that it's a draw is fine if this was a normal tag team match. Or if it was a tag match where the stipulation was just team that wins goes to Forbidden Door. Because the team that won would go on to Forbidden Door. But that wasn't just the stipulation. The stipulation was also winner of the tournament. There's no winner. This whole tag elimination tournament has been for nothing. It's been for both teams to go, which is cool. It's going to be a great match. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be really fun to see FTR and Brodito and Hurt Syndicate all facing off. I love it. I love that. But you cannot end a tournament in a draw and not have a winner. That's stupid. I'm sorry. I love everything else. That's the only thing that got to me. The only other gripe I had with it, which was in the match itself, is they announced 25 minutes into the match. They were like, 25 minutes have passed. Only 5 minutes left in the match. And I'm like, all right, well, this is going to be a draw. I knew it. I knew it the moment they announced that because it's just a trope that I am not a fan of them doing. They've done it before. The only time they've done it and where it's worked is when MJF and Will Ospreay, was it Will? I think it was Will, had their Iron Man match where MJF won with 1 or 2 seconds left. And because they did that, I believed the whole time, like, well, maybe, in the back of my head, I'm like, maybe, just maybe, one of these two teams will pick up a last second win, and it'll be cool, and it'll be a huge moment. But then 3 minutes left, and then they announced 2 minutes left, and then they announced 1 minute left. I'm like, all right, we're getting carried away. And then they announced 30 seconds left. I'm like, all right, I'm not enjoying that at all. Just ring the bell when there's no time left. Let's just... Maybe some people enjoyed it and I'm in the minority. Maybe. I don't know. But as soon as the bell rung, the fans booed. So I think they agreed. They then gave the performers a standing ovation because they deserved it. But I think they booed because they didn't agree with the booking decision, having it be a draw. Anyways, the ending of the match was cool, though. I will spoil that. With 1 minute left, I'll spoil it because it was also a thing where I'm like, weird, whatever. The commentary tried to explain it. I don't fully buy their explanation, but regardless, we'll get into it. With 1 minute left, Brody is fighting on the outside still and setting them up to, like, do his, like, running outside, like, chair attacks and, like, dive onto the outside barrier. And he tries it and he misses. And there's 1 minute left. The announcers are like, well, maybe Brody can't hear the announcements. And then they're also like, and then immediately after that, FTR starts setting up a table. I'm like, there's a minute left. Get in the ring. Win the match. And so they set up this table. Cash goes on the outside. They set up, I think, Brody or it was Bandito, one of the two. Cash sprint, run, dives, crash and burn through the table. Bell rings almost immediately after, where I'm like, did he DQ? What? No, that was just the time limit. Which it felt like a very fast 30 seconds, but regardless. I was like, wow, amazing match. Really cool. But then ended in a draw. And I was like, not cool. Sucks. After the draw, Bandito had Cash in the ring, hits the 21 plex, his finisher, and gets the 1, 2, 3, but it wasn't real. I think he got him down for like a 4 or 5 count before he kicked out, which I found hilarious. But regardless, got that. Afterwards, like almost immediately afterwards, it was announced that it's going to be a 3-way tag match at Forbidden Door, which again will be cool, just made for questionable television. Afterwards, we cut backstage to, I'm so sorry. No, we don't. We cut to our Hangman on Page promo in the ring, not backstage, where he's calling out MJF and he cheap shot him from behind, and he's a coward who won't come out to the ring and get his butt whooped. And so MJF then has one of his best promos I've seen. He really puts on his Heath Ledger Joker of putting the camera in his face and being like psychotic, and it was really good. I really liked it. Of course, they have Mark Briscoe tied up backstage, and he pours gasoline on him and has a lighter, and he's gonna light the man on fire on live television. Jesus. Unless Hangman agrees to his 3 demands. The first, at Forbidden Door, the belts can change by disqualification. So if Hangman gets DQ'd, belt changes. At Forbidden Door, the belt can change by count out. So I'll, count out for Hangman and belt switch hands. And of course, the match isn't for MJF's contract. And Hangman agrees because he doesn't want to see Briscoe burned alive. Afterwards, Hangman was seen backstage beating up Ricochet, looking for MJF, and then running off into the night to chase after him. This would then lead into the main event, a tag match between Athena Mercedes Moné versus Alex Windsor and Toni Storm. And the ladies tore it up. I thought they worked amazing with each other. I thought all 4 were just like chef's kiss. Were amazing in the ring. This was awesome. Mercedes Moné being scared of Toni Storm is a beautiful touch. It's the only woman that's beat her since joining AEW and going on this worldwide tour of being the best women's wrestler and wrestler on the planet. She's probably number 1 right now if you factor in every promotion and what you do for every promotion. I mean, not every wrestler does what she does, and that's just the facts. There's people like Hangman Page who are AEW exclusives, not Mercedes Moné, with her 8 or 7 belts. It's a fun presentation, I'll tell you that much. Her and Athena worked so well together. Really great match. Again, second match of the night where I'll say go seek this one out if you want to watch a really, really good ladies match. Because yeah, it's different than the men, and I think in a good way they tore it up in a way only they could have. Especially when you have Toni Storm in a match. And of course Athena. Athena is amazing. So good at being a mocking heel and really taking it to Toni Storm. And speaking of Toni Storm fully grabbed Mercedes Moné's boobs. Just fully grabbed her in the chest, which was interesting. And it fully got in Moné's head, which, hey, took her out of the match. Athena kept demanding her and yelling at her, like, get your head in the game. So, hey, if it works, it works. Maybe I'll try that if I ever get into a fight with a man. I'm not going to go around, it's got to be, same-sex violence. This is a woman, grabbing another woman's chest. We got to be politically correct around here. But this is the stuff that AEW makes you talk about because it's so ridiculous. And it's a great time, but it's so ridiculous. The match would continue to be great. The ladies would brawl, ladies would fight, ladies would wrestle, as they do. Go check out the match if you really want to know what happens. But at the end of the match, Athena would plop Toni Storm right onto her noggin with a pile driver on the steel steps that Toni sold like death. Like, that looked like it got her, which was really good. Good for Toni. Great selling. Awesome. Like, totally taken out of the match. Windsor then had to fight 2-on-1 for a bit, which was working. She got Moné to tap out to the sharpshooter / Scorpion Deathlock. But Moné wasn't the legal woman in the match. Athena then used the distraction of Windsor complaining to Aubrey to win the match. And that would be how the show would close. Athena picking up a big win before most likely losing at Forbidden Door to timeless Toni Storm, who's going to be dealing with a concussion now. Amazing show. And I hope Collision is amazing Saturday night before the big Forbidden Door pay-per-view. I have zero doubts in my mind Forbidden Door is going to deliver, and I cannot wait to be watching that. I'm going to be watching it Sunday night, so not live. We got 15 minutes left, so we'll talk about something a little less exciting, but we'll talk about regardless. Our Carolina Panthers, because we play today at 7 p.m. But no Bryce Young, no starters, and no real reason to be that hyper invested. There's one reason, really, and two, I guess. I'm sure guys like Corey Thornton will be worth a watch to see if he's legit, and then the wide receiver room. We'll still see guys like Jimmy Horn, maybe, Hunter Renfrow, Tremaine, David Moore. We'll just see how those guys shake up. Maybe Coker gets some run in the game. I would like to see that personally. And then, the defense. So the wide receivers, we'll see if Bryce Perkins can, throw the ball. And, of course, Plummer, the backup. This is going to be 7 p.m. tonight. And the big thing to watch, if you're going to watch, is the kicking competition as Wright versus Fitzgerald is raging on. Some exciting competition that is. And then the defense, because it's the backups. That's what matters at the end of the day. Seeing those guys come in and out of the game, and in regular season games, it's the backups on defense that get used more and more. So it's the defensive side of the ball we're going to see more. And for the Steelers, I'm actually kind of interested in their offense. I'm curious if they're going to be playing guys like Ryan Howard, Caleb Johnson. Ryan Howard at quarterback, Caleb Johnson running back. That's Ohio State, a national champion, and then the Iowa State running back, and then Roman Wilson, a guy that is coming into this year with a lot of upside. And then any names that I want to watch for the Panthers again, Corey Thornton. But other than that, just the D-line guys, the linebackers, not so much. Maybe some of the other corners, but I'm not so worried about that. Um, Training camp is really the big thing that's going on. I've seen a lot of good highlights of Bryce throwing the ball. He's been ever so consistent in training camp, which I'm loving. Just like that Texans game wasn't great, but I'm not so worried about Bryce. The Browns game was amazing for Bryce. So it's like game one, I'm really confident in him being great. At least all signs are pointing that way. All signs are pointing for Chuba Hubbard to be great. Tedero McMillan looks like he's going to really connect with Bryce. I really hope he's good. All I can really do is hope, though. And then, the defense, the linebackers, we'll see. And speaking of the defense and linebackers and offensive line, we're getting a lot of fights in training camp. We're getting a lot of scuffles. And this isn't even joint practices. This is among Panthers players. We talked about it before. I think it was 2 days or yesterday we talked about the Panthers having scuffles. And I saw a video today of more. This was Damian Lewis, who's back from his shoulder injury and looks like he could be so good for us this year. Again, maybe making a case for being the best offensive lineman in our room. It's him, maybe Hunt, maybe it's Moten, but either one of those guys are just, they have candidacy for being the best in their room. And we saw one-on-one drills with linemen, defensive and offensive. And the one that I'm focusing on now is Turk Wharton going against Damian Lewis. The first drill, Damian Lewis got the better of him, but Turk still put up some good ground. And Damian Lewis gave him a little shove afterwards, and Turk didn't like that so much and demanded they went back and did the drill again. And they did it, and Damian Lewis absolutely popped him one. Not hard, not a punch, just a solid two-hand block that when you watch the video is so loud. And Turk stops dead in his tracks. Damian Lewis owned him in that drill, which makes me so optimistic for our O-line. But that then caused a big scuffle because Turk and them started getting real aggressive. And then a few swings came out. And then the rest of the Panthers got in there, and you can hear one of them mic'd up saying, getting angry is how we lose. Let's stay calm, calm down. Getting angry is how we lose. And I think those are words to die by. Words to live by, words to die by. Anger is where mistakes happen. And if the team can get all this fighting out now amongst each other and learn to control these emotions in training camp and in practice, then hey, maybe we'll be a more composed unit. But there's, we'll keep our eye on that as the week continues because, the scuffles are just unreal, the amount that we've been having in training camp so far. The big thing to look forward to is that first game against the Jaguars. Of course, Jacksonville, which, pulling up for you right now, is going to be on Sunday, September 7th, 1 p.m. And Jacksonville is favored. It looks like 2.5. So I say we come out and we beat them anyways. Screw your 2.5. You're not winning by just a field goal. And we're not winning by just a 1 or 2 points. And we're not winning by just a field goal. We're gonna really beat them. We better really beat them. In NFL news, for any of my sorry about that banner. For my Saints news, for any of my Saints fans watching, you traded for Vele. I think DeLon is his first name, but Vele off of the Broncos. He was a rookie last year, 26 years old, the oldest rookie in the class. So do with that what you will. But you got him. You traded away a 4th-round pick and then another pick, which I think is ill-advised. If you're the Saints, you don't move your picks. It's like the Panthers. The Panthers shouldn't be moving their picks either. But if it's for a guy like Micah Parsons or Trey Hendrickson, then hell, I'm doing that in a heartbeat. So there you go. And there was another trade. Sky Moore traded away from the Chiefs. That era is over. So there you have it. With just about 9 minutes left in the show, I got one thing left to talk about, and it is the Toronto Maple Leafs and the NHL at large. It's another thing that kind of grinds my gears. The NHL Network dropped their top 15 centers list. You tell me when something sounds wrong here. Number 1, Connor McDavid. Good to me. Number 2, Nathan MacKinnon. Number 3, Leon Draisaitl. Number 4, Sasha Barkov. Number 5, Sidney Crosby. Number 6, Jack Eichel. Number 7, Austin Matthews. Number 8, Braden Point. Number 9, Mark Scheifele. Number 10, Nick Suzuki. Number 11, Jack Hughes. Number 12, Robert Thomas. Number 13, Sebastian Aho. Number 14, Nico Hischier. Number 15, Dylan Larkin. And number 16, Tim Stützle. You're telling me, injuries and all, you're telling me that you would rather have Jack Eichel, Sidney Crosby, and Barkov, and debatably Draisaitl over Austin Matthews? Get out of town. Even McKinnon is a genuine conversation to be had. It's close. It's genuinely close with McKinnon. I think McKinnon, the only thing that holds Matthews back is health. The rest of those guys, get out of town. You're taking Matthews over them. How are you not? How are you not? If you took Matthews off this Leafs team and put him on any other team, he has the same amount of success, but probably more in the playoffs because he doesn't play in Toronto. And for some reason, players in Toronto are cursed because they fold under pressure. If he was in Florida with the Panthers where there's zero pressure because they have zero fans, he would have won a cup or two by now. Just like that loser Barkov and that loser, oh my God, Matt Tkachuk have. That's all I'm going to say is just because we're cursed, we can't put together an actual competitive forward group that will show up in the playoffs is big reasons why I guess he gets disrespected, and health. Because this is a guy that won Hart. This is a guy that scored 70 goals. Tell me another guy that has scored 70 goals that is currently playing. Maybe Ovechkin. I'm racking my brain to think if he actually has reached the 70 marker before. This is a special talent, a once in a generation, maybe even once in a longer than a generation talent. We're treating him like chop liver just because he has a bad playoff, which we can all admit he was trash Ola in that playoff. He had a bad playoff, sure, and had an injured regular season. If he was healthy in that regular season, he's a 50-goal scorer still. This is a guy who has currently the NHL record for goals per game. Currently has a Hart trophy. You know who doesn't have a Hart? Barkov, Crosby, Eichel. Well, Crosby does, excuse me. But not in the last 5 years. Not in the last maybe 10. Maybe I'm talking out my ass if it's 10 years just because I'm angry at this list. But we're not seriously talking about Crosby and Hart contention in the year 2025-2026. And we're not doing that for Eichel either. And I guarantee you we're not doing that for Barkov. Austin Matthews is in Selke conversations. He's in Hart conversations. Rocket Richard conversations every single year. He leads the Leafs to the Atlantic Division lead title last season. This is a guy that's getting disrespected. I don't get it. And just because... I mean, Crosby ahead of him. Are we kidding each other? Are we kidding ourselves? What are we doing here? He didn't even make the playoffs. If we're talking playoff success is going to define this list, he had a great regular season, sure, but healthy, not a conversation. Even I would take the injured Austin Matthews from last year over Sidney Crosby, and that's I don't care if that's a hot take. I don't care if that's me being Leaf bias. I'm still doing that because when he played, he was a difference maker in the regular season. Of course, Leaf Asterisk, we can't talk about the playoffs because we are horrible, apparently. And Matthews was horrible, and it was really cringy and not fun to watch. But if we're just talking regular season, heading into the regular season next year, you're really going to put Matthews below Eichel, Crosby, Barkov, and debatably Draisaitl, debatably McKinnon. No, you're not. NHL Network, that's a joke. I slammed my phone down in anger. Cause yeah, that got me riled up. I'm wearing the Leafs. I'm wearing, let's get it in frame. I'm wearing the Matthews because him and the Leafs are getting too much disrespect lately. Just because you lose one guy doesn't mean you're chop liver. Hockey, the only sport where one player matters less than hockey is football, other than the quarterback. So it kills me. Kills me that people are dooming the Leafs, dooming Austin Matthews, and maybe he's ranked 7 because he doesn't have Marner to play with him anymore. Doubt it, but whatever. Anger at that list. NHL Network, I think that's a joke. I think we'll find the rest of the rankings of the wingers and whatnot, and the D and the goalies to talk about later. But that is all for today. You got whoever stuck around to the end. You got to see me be animated, so good for you. Thank you. Had a very fun time today. Very fun edition of the Sports Hour presented by Curtis Collings. Super fun today. Started 2 minutes late. I started my outro 2 minutes early. It's just the type of day that we're having. Hopefully, that doesn't bode, I guess not bode well, but mean bad news for my golf game. Hopefully, we lock in today and we shoot well. I got 1 minute left, so I'll tell you about something interesting I did yesterday. A defense-only fantasy football draft. So I got guys like Nick Bosa and Micah Parsons. It's going to be interesting. For my Panthers, I got JC Horn. So, hey, JC Horn, a guy that was surprisingly putting up a lot of fantasy points last year on defense, which I guess I shouldn't say surprisingly. He had to play defense a lot. They just allowed a lot of points, but that doesn't matter for these leagues. So, side bit over. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around. It's a ton of fun, regardless of who watches. Really, just a portfolio piece at the end of the day. More so that I can go into an interview and say, yep, I hosted a daily 1-hour talk show all by myself. And we'll see how long I do it for. Maybe forever. We'll see. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the end.